Okay, so let's check some regular areas in OSPF. We'll have area 0 and area 1, and we'll have the R2 as the ABR and R3 as an ASBR. So first of all, the routes will share between them the type 1 LSA. The router R2 will inform area 0 routers, the routes which it learned from area 1, and it will inform routes from the area 1, the routes which were learned from area 0. It will also, R2 will also send a type 4 LSA, and it will inform other routers that ASBR is located in area 1. Since this is a regular area, the ASBR will send a type 5 LSA, and it will share the external routes. The type 5 LSA is passed to the ABR, and ABR is passing the type 5 LSA to other routers in the area. Okay, so the first area type is the regular area type, and we can see all the messages which are being exchanged. But we can also have the stub area. The stub area is an area that doesn't contain ASBR, and it will accept only type 3 LSAs, meaning that it will accept only the routes learned from other areas. If let's say that we'll have here an ASBR and it will share some external routes, the stub area will not accept the external routes and it will only accept the type 3 LSA. Let's see how do you configure the stub area on R2 and on R3. You will configure the interface on both devices, and on ABR you'll specify stub summaries. You'll add the interfaces on OSPF, and you will configure also stub default metric of 30, which means that the routes which will be shared to area 1 will have a administrative distance of 30. And on R3 you just specify the interface. You specify that the area 1 is a stub area, the interface which is participating in OSPF. We can also have the total stub area. A total stub area is the area that does not contain ASBRs, and it is accepting only type 3 LSAs, which are sent as a default route, which means that R2 will not send any route learned from other areas, but instead it will send a default route. So all the traffic which will originate from R3, let's say, will have a default route that will point to R2, and after the packet will be delivered to R2, it will know what to do with the packet. Configure it the same way, but for the ABR router you configure stub no summaries, and you also add the default metric. And the configuration for the not so stubby area on R3 is also the same. We can also have not so stubby area, and in the not so stubby area we'll have the ASBR. Basically it is working the same as a stub area, but you have a router here which is connecting to the outside world. In the not so stubby area, the R2 will send the routes which it learned from other areas, and R3 will generate the external NSSA external LSA or the type 7 LSA. It will send to R2, and the R2 will transform this type 7 LSA into the type 5 LSAs. The configuration is also pretty simple. As in the stub area, you just specify not so stubby area summaries. You specify the default metric, and you specify for the router R3 that he is in a not so stubby area. Also, we can have totally not so stubby area. It works exactly as a not so stubby area, but like in the case of totally stub area, the R2 will send a default route, and R3 will generate a type 7 LSA, which will transmit the external routes to R2, and the R2 will translate the type 7 LSA into type 5 LSA, and it will send those to the other routers. Configuration is also pretty simple. You just configure on the ABR NSSA no summaries, the default metric. On R3, you just specify that this area here is not so stubby area. So guys, most of you are viewing my videos and are not subscribed. So if you want to help me and if you like the videos that I am creating, please hit that subscribe button. It will help me a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Now you know more, and if you want to learn even more, you can check my linked Udemy courses in the video description. Also, on each Udemy course, you can find a 30% off coupon, which is listed in bonus section of each course. You will find them listed in the video description. Thank you, and see you in the next video.